Don't gamble it, be patient. It's been 8 years since the last real Battlefield game, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put in a lot of hours into it regardless of whether it's a broken mess at launch or not. Pre-ordering changes nothing for people who'd buy it at launch anyway. Here's what I've personally decided with pre-orders. It doesn't matter if I pay now or later. It's the same price and I won't be able to play it earlier if I pay now. So why not wait until I see exactly what I'm paying for? I've never regretted pre-ordering a game, but I also never watch game trailers and only pre-order games based on if it comes with goodies I'll like or if it's from a franchise/company I already like. So I don't pre-order based on hype. I think a lot of people let themselves get carried away by the hype machine and then blame the game for their choice to pre-order instead of their own impulsiveness and expectations. If you waited until Cyberpunk 2077 to realize that pre-ordering is the gaming equivalent of giving a bully your lunch money on the first day of school in the hopes that you bought off a year of locker smashes and swirlies, then you are part of the problem. What's there to be even patient for? It's not like you will be able to play the game right away after you pre-order it about half a year earlier or something. It's literally a pointless purchase that would cost you the same if you waited for it to actually come out and see its real quality. Pre-orders were always such a bizarre thing for me tbh. While I have it easier, I just didn't buy games at full price, always waiting for a sale. You can call me cheap, but it's not a priority for me RN. What about game with a demo like FF7 Remake? No campaign. Not buying now, yes I'm bitter. LOL. Look at every Battlefield game at launch. It's a dumpster fire. Just pick up the game with premium when it goes on discount, you're not missing out. Anthem taught me a hard lesson. I've started buying all games about a week after launch, gives me time to research and watch gameplay to tell if the investment is good. More now that games will be $70 USD. I learned my lesson good and early with Black and White. At least Cyberpunk got their game. I pre-ordered Fallout 76. Personally not a fan of how the gaming industry is treating the devs. It's the publisher's fault. No Man's Sky was my hard lesson, my only pre-order to date aside from Firmament, which isn't out for a while, but even they seem to have turned that around something fierce. Unless it's made by From Software or a Bethesda RPG, they've yet to let me down. I refuse to call 7.6 an RPG. Still gonna pre-order Elden Ring, but I doubt most of you can even imagine it. I am gonna wait till the week before release then buy it zany face. Technically it's not pre-ordering, it's more saving myself a seat, beaming face with smiling eyes thumbs up. Personally I've seen more don't pre-order a lot more when it comes to this new Battlefield game than probably any other game. Heads up, it's not Cyberpunk. I belong to the house of Total Biscuit and will not pre-order. If you're roasting Cyberpunk, it's actually a great game and I think if you don't mind bugs you should definitely try it. Yeah, paying for a product up front in exchange for literally nothing is a bad idea. It took you guys till Cyberpunk to figure this out? FO76 has entered the chat. Not buying any more he's until I can buy a new GPU at MSRP. Sean Murray is laughing as he counts his profits. Seriously guys, don't do it. If you want to play the game during release, see how people react after a day or so, then buy it. Since there's no way it's going to sell out, especially with digital store fronts being an option for everyone, all you're doing is giving the company money. There's no harm in waiting for you at all. I'm still gonna pre-order the new Pokemon games and Slime Rancher 2. Doom Eternal is the only game I can recall that didn't let me down at launch. Folded hands. But then you won't get the pre-order bonus that in no way improves the game. I honestly don't know how anybody's first reaction is to pre-order anything gaming related. Anthem was my last mistake. Straight face. I never understood pre-orders. It doesn't make the game release sooner. I mean, I'm going to buy it day one anyways, so that's a pre-order for me. Anyone else check out once the grappling hook was used? I had so much faith in Cyberpunk and it was worth it, but not as much as they said it would be. Still has Battlefield 2142. What the? Nah bro, go big or go home. Later on goes broke. Cyberpunk really killed any chance I'd pre-order anything ever again. You got the Cyberpunk apologists, mad ASF LOL. Also Fallout 76. Nah. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order it. I don't understand pre-ordering in this day and age, especially for an extremely mainstream game like this that you'll be able to find anywhere. You could easily wait for reviews and buy this anywhere games are sold on release day. I pre-ordered back in the day because I was buying RPGs and other niche games that you wouldn't be able to find in store if you didn't pre-order them from GameStop. Why PPL pre-order in the age of downloaded on-demand games is beyond me. There is no line basically. Are we really gonna act like Cyberpunk is the relevant don't pre-order example when Battlefield 4 and Battlefront 2 exist from the same dev and publisher? What is the actual point of pre-ordering if you can just buy it when it comes out? Are people stupid? Remember when pre-ordering a game meant spending $5 to reserve your copy of the game and not paying full price for it until you go pick it up? The more you pre-order, the more the industry continues to put more effort into overhyping games than they put into actually making it good. If Cyberpunk was the game you learned not to pre-order anything, you might be a bit slow. My first pre-order was Modern Warfare 2, and that was the last pre-order that felt great. But if you pre-order, you get a gold gun that becomes irrelevant 5 minutes after first playing. If you don't give the company what it wants, then it will give you what you want. I'm glad I bought and played Cyberpunk before reading the reviews. Amazing game. Cyberpunk is a great game. People keep overreacting to the few flaws it has. I have the PC version. Pre-ordered Cyberpunk, October 10th, would pre-order again. Is it gambling if I'm just going to buy it anyway? They're getting my money one way or the other. That's just fact now. I'm not going to not play a new Battlefield game. The only game I pre-ordered was Pokemon Snap, and I knew exactly what I was getting. Laughs in No Man's Sky. Proud member of House Biscuit. If you didn't know pre-ordering was a horrible idea before Cyberpunk, you probably deserve to be burned by that decision. You should put a very faint No Man's Sky above Cyberpunk. Aliens, Colonial Marines. Fallout 76 flashbacks. I will not pre-order, I will not pre-order, I will not Elden Ring, Shattered, BY, someone, or something. This will work. The 30th year people have said it. Why does everyone act like Cyberpunk was the first to do this? The only game I would pre-order is Elden Rings. I don't pre-order because I might die before a game is released, and the thought of paying for something I never get to use infuriates me. If Cyberpunk was your lesson for that, you are very late to that party. Pre-orders are only worth doing for finite items, such as collector's editions. Pre-ordering digitally is BS. Careful, say this on the Battlefield subreddit and they will downvote you and attack you verbally. No one will buy it from Epic anyway. Face with tears of joy. Me, pre-ordering is dumb, predatory, and anyone who does it is gullible. Also me, pre-orders the collector's edition of any RPG Bethesda puts out. W. Hot take, pre-order bonuses/special editions take away from the experience most of the time anyways. For example, I picked up the deluxe edition of Ace Combat 7. With this edition you are given 3 drone planes that have incredibly jacked stats at the start of the game. I forced myself to not use them through the campaign because if I did it would basically make the progression tree pointless. Plus there's no campaign and it's now $10 more. In fact, Cyberpunk for PC worked quite well even at the launch, for me, at least, but my friends with consoles suffered a lot while playing it. Cyberpunk was great, though. This time will be different, me every time. This does not apply to From Software Elden Ring. Here we come, baby. I always wait until Thanksgiving sale, prices slashed. I will not pre-order BF 2042. TBF Cyberpunk got amazing reviews at launch, it's just that you needed top-tier pus to run it well. I don't pre-order games. I wait until they're on sale and then buy them. It's your own fault for ordering something that is not finished. But how else will I get the exclusive gun skin? I never pre-order. It's not like I'd get to play it any earlier than others. If there are pre-order bonus, I bought it the day before. The whole point to pre-ordering back in the day was to RSVP a physical copy. Even then, it was dumb, and it's even dumber to pre-order a digital download. What are you reserving? Bits on a server? Unpopular opinion, I'd pre-order CP 2077 again. Game was fire on PC. I see a lot of people say, I learned it the hard way because I pre-ordered X. It's like, you really needed to learn that? You're paying for thin air. I mostly pre-order because I have the money now, but I might not when the game comes out. A lot more games than just Cyberpunk are guilty of that one over the last few years. LOL. Replace Cyberpunk with Destiny, please. If you pre-order a game, your reason needs to be so far removed from anything. They could deliver unplayable garbage, spit on your mother, and kick you in the nuts, and you would still think pre-ordering was a wash. LOL, if Cyberpunk is the game that taught you that lesson, you are severely behind the curve. It looked like every single other military FPS trailer that's ever been made. 100% not hyped. You didn't learn this with BF3? I'm very surprised that it took everyone this long to learn their lesson, but I am glad that they've finally learned it. People can't do even this, and then there's guys like me, waiting a year after release just to save €10 on a sale. Crowfall. No Man's Sky, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Cyberpunk, Anthem. All hyped, promoted, and pre-orders equals all letdowns. BF 2042 is not an exception. I pre-ordered Riders Republic. Apparently, I don't learn from my mistakes. It is even funnier the second time. I pre-ordered Kirby and the Star Allies. Great experience for me. Your comics are hilarious. I'd like to pre-order the next one. There is no logical reason to pre-order games. Unless it's a collector's edition with a realistic sculpture of part of the dragon. I'm quite sure there's no campaign, and no campaign for $70 is a ripoff. I pre-ordered Crysis 2 and 3, BF3 and 4, The Division 1, Wildlands, and several others. Aside from the Crysis games, pretty much all of them were complained about excessively for being buggy and unplayable. I remember playing them fine and enjoying them, even if they had a few quirks to them. Those are also the games that I have the most hours in by far, having put 600 plus hours into both Battlefield games, and 100 plus hours in The Division and Wildlands. I also played them consistently from day one. Downvote me into oblivion, but buy the games you like so you can play. If that one little but makes it unplayable for you, just stop playing and stop complaining. Easy, just don't pay for games, yar. Cyberpunk wasn't even that bad on PC TBH. I still pre-order and only had Anthem and No Man's Sky backfire on me. I don't mind pre-orders. I pre-ordered it, don't care, looks unreal. The last game I pre-ordered was Cyberpunk, but I mean it's Battlefield. The last 3 pre-orders I paid for were Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil Village. And I pre-ordered the night before they went live just so I could pre-install. May I've been playing BF for 20 years, think I'll go ahead and pre-order. I pre-ordered 1942, 2, 2142, BC 2, 3, 4, and 1 and not been burned. I'm gonna gamble with this. You're learning this now? For that matter, are some people only learning this now? There are only 2 games that I have pre-ordered in my entire life, Sony's Spider-Man, Cyberpunk, after Cyberpunk. I will never pre-order a game again. I was 50-50 in regards to successful, non-regretful pre-orders, but I still will never pre-order a game again after Cyberpunk, not even Elden Ring. Last game I pre-ordered was NBA 2K16. Last game I pre-ordered was Spore. Yeah, it's been a while, but I learned. Oi, some people still won't learn. I don't trust E3 anymore. I will wait until it's released and reviewed before making my decision. Unless it's Elden Ring. Pre-orders anyway, foo. Pre-ordering is a toxic practice in the gaming community. Pre-ordering allows companies to make a profit before the games are even released. This encourages companies to focus more on advertising their game than actually making a good game. If we stopped pre-ordering, companies would actually have to make a good game to get us to buy their game. People who genuinely get upset about how other people spend their money in pre-ordering video games should pick up a drug habit, AMO. Already pre-ordered, gotta support my local GameStop. Cyberpunk on PC is solid AF. Pre-ordering now because I don't like cartoonists telling me what to do. Nah, I'm still pre-ordering, idgaff. I still find it hilarious how so many people pre-ordered Cyberpunk. You changed my mind, Grapho, I won't pre-order. Okay, I lied. I wasn't going to pre-order anyway, but that's because shooters aren't generally my thing anyway. Why is pre-ordering bad? What did I hear? Pre-order? Let's go. I pre-ordered Mario Golf Super Rush cause it can't be bad, right? First pre-order in like 10 years. But maybe this time. Don't do it. I can't remember the last time I pre-ordered something. Let's just say I prefer to be a skeptic. Too late, you couldn't have this up earlier? Did you dress up your pepperoni or something? Used to be cool, till the industry figured out to take advantage of it. Now hardly anywhere gives you a bonus item for pre-orders, and you sit around and wait forever for an unfinished game. Somehow this gives me PTSD. Still don't get why people pre-order digital games. Looking at the Steam store page of Cyberpunk 2077, I see the friends have previously played section. And see all my friends who bought it, shelved it with less than 1 hour of play, could have been great I guess. The sunk cost fallacy couldn't even save Cyberpunk. Especially since the Xbox that was branded to it couldn't even play it. I know my voice is just a drop in an ocean of this discussion, but there's always subtle to everything. I only pre-order something if it's part of the series I enjoy and there's a physical collector's edition I'd like. Additionally, it has to be from a team I know puts time into their work. I know this probably applies to CD Projekt Red for a lot of people, because there will always be exceptions. I was almost drawn into the Cyberpunk hype, but the amount they said would be in the game and level of freedom just seemed impossible. I hate how people get so mad that a game isn't released in perfect state. Like people had the same reaction with Skyrim. Big games have more potential for bugs, ick how people don't get that still. People do what they want with their money LMAO. Unless it's a FROMSOFTWARE game. I pre-ordered Elden Ring. Doubt I will have any regrets. What's the point of pre-ordering games when they're all digital downloads? It took you until Cyberpunk to figure this out? Pre-order makes some amount of sense for physical goods. It is just a scam for digital goods. It's not a huge gamble. LOL, if the game turns out to not be much fun, I only lost $60 and can turn around and sell it for $30 and only lose $30. Or if I don't pre-order and it turns out to not get very good reviews, I'll probably want to still eventually try it anyway and will buy it used or reduced price for $30. How little money do you guys make that you have to make endless posts about gambling with $30? It's my money, I'll do what I want with it. With the modern era of downloading games instead of buying them at the store on release day, why does anyone pre-order anything anymore? I'm just upset that it looks to be about the most generic multiplayer shooter for some time. I already miss Battlefield 1 man.